Now we're good. Borderlands 3, not 4. Because I'm kind of done with 4. It plays like shit, too. And that's what I wondered. I wasn't going to stream this. I was just going to go back and play 3 to see how, It's like, oh, I don't know. It's been several years since I played it. So figured, let's go back. Let's be the judge. Let's see how it compares to number 4. And number 4 was okay, but it does play like shit because I started playing this one and everything was smooth. I thought it was my computer that was I thought it was just kind of bogged down. I thought I just needed to clean it up. Yeah, I got a bunch of Adobe projects I probably don't really need anymore. I could just get rid of those. I don't want to get rid of too many projects because there have been times where I go back and I'm like, I really wish I still had like one of my episodes in Adobe Premiere because then I could go back and edit it and, do reels and stuff like that. But regardless, yeah, I thought it was my computer that was bogging down because the more I got into the game, it was just choppy, really choppy. And the beginning was choppy too, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was once I was like level 50, done with the story and everything, trying to like find all the side stuff. But yeah, even with all the chop, it just, I don't know, it got boring. And the creators are not what they used to be. And this already feels much more like a Borderlands. The intro music alone, just in the intro video, it was like, oh yeah, Borderlands. You kind of have to remember, because Borderlands looks like Borderlands. Is it really Borderlands? It's kind of like it's like a walking meat suit of Borderlands, but underneath, it's not. Like you don't have the heart of Borderlands, and I feel like 3 still has it. It's not as good as 2. We all know this, but it still has it. And I didn't give 3 enough of a chance because I beat it once, and I think once. I might have played it twice, but I don't think I played it through this like all the way the second time. If I did, I think I started another character, but yeah, I kind of want to give it another go, and obviously I'll be listening to stuff. But yeah, I have a feeling this will be a lot more enjoyable of an experience than 4 was, because it did play like shit. Like there was a lot of areas, I think it was actually showing that on the stream, just how fucking choppy it was. It was just bad. So, moving on. Let's do it. Today's Culture War podcast with Tim Purr. I think I saw Myron Games was on this one. I honestly can't stand that guy. It's not that I can't stand him. It's just, I don't know. He's just a Chad. He's kind of annoying. It's like, all right, misogynist. I get it.
It has been 16 days since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And, I'll just...
Yeah, this is Who Really Killed Charlie Kirk, Truth Behind Kirk's Assassination. Which has been the talk of the last couple weeks, but it needs to be. And, yeah, my heart is still pretty heavy from the whole thing, so let's do it.
Throw my cards out there. I largely believe what we're getting from the FBI is correct, though there are a lot of questions about it because, look, we're not children. You don't need to just blindly believe everything the government tells you. But when we break down all of the theories running wild, I think the simple narrative that we are getting tends to be the correct one, but there are a lot of unanswered questions, even if you do believe the work of Kashdan and Pam Bondi. There are questions about how could this have been a lone shooter? How could people have had foreknowledge posting on social media seemingly knowing this was going to happen? Because of these things, because of ballistics, there have been dozens of videos which have cracked millions of views claiming new evidence, new conspiracies, trap doors, cement being poured, palm guns, a man hiding in the bushes. What is true? Well, we don't really
I haven't
know
heard
for
any
sure.
of those things.
Discuss it, debate it, break it down, and have a general conversation over why people are saying the things they're saying. But I'll just start with this, just so you guys know my position. I want to make sure it's clear. There's a lot of money to be made in a lot of these narratives, and I think if you came out and said we don't actually know, well, for the most part, people aren't going to click that video. But if you make a video titled "Who Really Killed Charlie Kirk? The Truth Behind the Kirk Assassination," maybe people will click that one, which is what we titled this video. But I think it's because I actually
Let's go
want
base,
to,
baby. Just base.
take a look at all of
I'm
this
not going to
stuff.
go retro
Some
with
of
it.
these videos, I believe, are
Different
easily
color?
debunked, which is
Oh,
really
okay.
frustrating
Yeah,
to see 6 million views on a video where within 3 seconds, I'm not trying to be a dick, but the dude contradicts his own arguments. So I think
You're
it's
a
important
dick,
we can break
Tim.
this down and have this conversation. Before we get started, my friends, we
Can't
got a great
take him
sponsor.
anywhere.
It's Bearskin.
Gall.
You know we love Bearskin. These are great and amazing hoodies. You guys have seen them. I wear them on the show periodically. It's starting to get a little cool again, so we'll probably start wearing them. Smart people right now, they're locking in their winter gear because this is the best time to prep for coming
What
winter.
is
You buy before it gets cold, right? Bearskin is running a
tertiary?
60% off deal right now, but only if you get your hoodie early.
Ah,
The hoodie is built like a tank, 340 GSM micro fleece, 10 pockets with a clean, rugged fit. It looks great. Plus, it zips right into
There's a
heavy
lot of
storm
different
rain
colors.
jacket
It's almost
to
too
become
much
100%
to work with.
waterproof when you need it. So if it gets cold, wet, and windy,
maybe I'm just
you're not
retarded.
scrambling at the last
Yes.
minute. You'll get free shipping in the U.S., fast delivery, and you've locked in your winter gear early, so win-win. Do yourself a favor and text TIM to 36912 and lock in your 60% off. Again, that's TIM to 36912. You'll get a link straight to your phone so you can check it out whenever you want. Maybe you're busy right now. Don't wait till you're freezing. Go to baer.skin/Tim. You can get to 60% off. Shout out, thanks for sponsoring the show. Don't forget, my friends, smash that like button. Share the show right now. We got a couple of guests joining us to talk about all of this. Ryan, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm Ryan Matta, documentary filmmaker, investigative journalist, and yeah, thanks for having me, Tim.
Right on.
Ryan Gaines, what happened to the Fresh Fit podcast, man? Happy to be here.
So his
Hello,
main
my name
coat
is
is okay.
Revolutionary. Let's get into it.
So let me
That's
just pull
fine.
up this story first, and we're going to start with some of these
It's kinda cute.
theories. I also want to stress that any information we
I
don't
don't
have,
give a
as
fuck.
we're basically trying to do a deep dive on all this stuff, comments,
the
rants,
fuck?
and chat. If you have
I don't-
any information you want us to pull up and look at, and we'll take a look at this, and we will try to
That
assess
one's kind
it.
of cool. I
And
like that
we'll,
one.
We'll break all this down. Let
Siren.
me actually start by saying this, what we think we know. And I say that because the investigation is ongoing, and I don't think... I think a lot of people are trying to claim the FBI is lying to us and all that, and no, I think Cash has been as honest as he can be. I mean, he's working
Saw a
in
bug.
intelligence, so he can't just leak all this
We
information.
punch bugs up in
especially
here.
if
We
they're
don't
building a case.
swat bugs.
But I believe we are
We're
getting
sophisticated.
pretty much as close to the real story from the feds. I also think it's fair to point out, even Cash has stated, they're looking at every angle. They're looking at possible other shooters, any information or tips that people have. They're trying to figure this one out, same as everybody else. But we've got the official story that we have now is there is a man who was accused of shooting Charlie Kirk. He was on a roof with a bolt-action 30-06. He was motivated by the hatred spread by Charlie, according to this official story, and he shot Charlie in the neck right around the time that Charlie was answering a question about trans mass shooters. This individual was seen limping on a private security camera towards the UVU. He was seen on video on the roof fleeing after the shot was taken, apparently holding something that appears to be a gun. The bullets, as reported by the feds, had engravings on it with memes and messages, and this individual had a long conversation with his transgender boyfriend, basically saying, here's why I did it, and, you know, here's what I was doing. Now, there are questions that people have that I think are warranted, such as the ballistics, which I think can be answered. I think certainly people who are tracking ballistics are making interesting points, but I think there's a lot of people that are jumping the gun and saying outright, oh, it's not possible. It's not possible. Well, it is possible. We'll get to that stuff in the greater conversation. But as to the story that we have so far, everyone has questioned the conversation between the boyfriend and the alleged shooter because it reads very scripted. At bare minimum, it's transposed because it's not a single typo. Matt Walsh has suggested that the boyfriend was involved, and this message was to create reasonable doubt in a potential court hearing. There's also other information, this is confirmed. The FBI is investigating Discord chats and other potential groups, these queer and trans rifle groups, because there were at least there were 7 accounts online that had foreknowledge or presented information that appeared to show foreknowledge of the assassination plot, indicating it's likely not a lone wolf. But that being said, before
Holy
we dive
hell,
into some
hurry it up.
conspiracy theories,
Claptrap.
and I'll ask you guys what you think. is
Give
going
you a
on.
boost, bud.
Yeah, so I think we got a lot
Push
of
him.
misguided stories from the FBI and from our government and then from the mainstream media. It
Just
seems
strangle this little
that they're
thing.
using the media to basically present and push out a narrative.
Messing up my
and then once you
headset.
tear apart that
Claptrap.
narrative,
What's
they're
wrong?
coming back and saying, oh, wait, there was no official
Ooh.
FBI
Some people on the
statement.
moon
So I
who
think we should
didn't
start
hear
at the very
that.
beginning. And the first big break in the story, I think, was when Blake Bednarz went through
Yeah,
all the footage
right.
and he realized, he said, hey, the people in the cafeteria, and I showed this to Myron on the way here, you can see the people that in the cafeteria that filmed the video of the man running across the roof, right? At that exact point that they're filming that, you're seeing the crowd out there crouching down. So then I go outside and I go, okay, let's start the
Crouching?
video at the exact moment that Charlie gets shot. And I go, I'm going to press play and you're going to hear bang. And then we count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. I'm also using the timer on the computer to
That's
from
kinda
the video
cool.
thread. It's 3 seconds from the time
Little
that Charlie
rockos.
from the time that shot goes off to the time that crowd's sitting down. So then you go back to the camera on the inside, and you see the man running on the roof is in a full sprint. Within 3 seconds of Charlie being shot, 100% fact, we know whoever that man was on the low-C building on that roof is in a full sprint with or without his rifle in hand within 3 seconds. So then I hired a journalist to go back to the crime scene and actually film. I wanted to see the video, the camera, the CCTV footage that was used that the FBI gave us. So the FBI gives us the footage, which is timestamped on the date and time at 12:23.34 it starts. So at 34, it starts and you see him running across the roof. Okay, so 3 seconds prior to that video footage that the FBI gave us would have shown this man laying in the prone position and taking that shot. So I'm not trying to push any narrative. I'm saying at the very least what I want is just 10 seconds, 15 seconds longer of the video that you've already gave us. Then he went back to the crime scene and there's not only one CCTV camera there, there's 2 cameras, and I showed this to Myron as well.
Wait, I just want to clarify. When you're discussing the 3 seconds, are you referring to device timestamps, or are you saying regardless of the time that it was in the video, it was 3 seconds?
I'm saying in the video in the cafeteria, he's running on the roof. You see that. And then you see the crowd crouching down. The crowd in that video just realized Charlie had been shot. So then I went to the outside video, and I'm watching, and I watch the shot go off, and hear bang, and I go, okay, I'm just watching the timestamp on the video, how long it takes the crowd to actually start crouching down. And that's roughly the video.
So they can see.
Hey, Ken, if you want, I can airdrop it to you.
Do you have it on? Do you have it on X?
I do have it on X.
I can give you your X.
Yeah, that way the audience can kind of hear. I mean, my thing on this is,
Which
Yeah, I gotta find it.
Ryan Matta 8.
Ryan Matta Media.
yeah, the information around this case.
Actually, you know what? This gameplay even feels better.
So let me try and understand what you're saying though. So
That's bad. If your gameplay is even worse, guys.
Yeah, it takes the crowd 3 seconds to sit down.
It's just been so long since I played this. The number, yeah,
you're
number
saying
3.
the crowd in the cafeteria ducked before
Derp,
the
derp,
crowd
derp.
No, I'm saying you're seeing him in the cafeteria view.
'Cause I only play number 2. That's my go-to.
You can also see the crowd starting to crouch.
It's very popular.
It's not that I didn't like this one, but yeah, this.
Happen, everyone's yeah, like someone's recording inside a building and you can see a dark figure running across the roof.
Right, I remember that for
Sure,
sure.
sure, for the audience.
But I'm just
How do I airdrop this?
you can't. Well, I'm trying to understand what you're saying between these 2 videos. I don't
I know
understand.
Claptrap can be a little.
So it's the time difference
He's
between
still one of us.
the motion of the
You're gonna have
crowd
to save
and the
him.
motion.
I know,
I'll be
but
there
what does that
soon.
mean?
That means that the man is running on the roof within 3 seconds of the shot being fired.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a sniper, you're laying on the roof, you take this shot, somehow you magically are up in a full sprint with the rifle in hand within 3 seconds.
Have you ever? But 3 seconds is a long time.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I just want the FBI to release the video. If they would have released it, they released it specifically 3 seconds after the shot.
FOIA request. Made a FOIA request. I don't actually have.
The gentleman made the first FOIA request 2 days ago.
So,
I'm a lot.
one thing that bothers me.
Tell my kids, I wish they were born.
You guys ever see the MythBusters thing where they test a knife versus a gun, and it's like at 21 yards you can stab a guy.
Oh, there's no
before you-
double jump though.
When I was in the academy, remember the guys I was in Homeland Security Investigations,
That's
they
such
would
a
show you
given
that
now.
stuff all the time,
First
to
it was
train you,
sprint,
hey, if someone has a knife,
then
you
it was
need to
slide.
Get your gun out as quickly as possible because they can close
Now
the
it's the
distance.
double
One of
jump.
the core things they teach you in every law enforcement academy.
That's why I'm saying, like, I agree with your point on the we should get more. Where's the rest of the footage of this? But and I'm not saying this, I'm just kind of adding this in my view. It looks like it makes sense that someone took a shot and then immediately just bolted.
Yep. And then
No,
can
sure.
I add to this?
Yeah,
Add
go
to
ahead.
this? So then Candace goes.
But
2
that's
days
gonna
ago,
get-
she went and
that's gonna be
tracked
hard to
down
get used
the
to.
very first video of the guys that are kind of walking up and they go, hey, is there somebody on that roof up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that video they're going, man, the guy just ran across. Is he already in position?
Trying to
So
double
Candace
jump
went
over
and got the
everything.
timestamp of that video. That's at 12:22.
There might be a
So this
shield
man
in that
runs
special
across
red
the roof.
vest
This is
over
what we know.
there.
This is just the evidence that we've been presented, right? The man runs across the roof, gets into prone position, takes
What?
the shot, and fires the shot within 1 minute, and then within 3 seconds is in a full sprint off that roof. And there's 2 cameras that the FBI has, 2 CCTV videos that we know that they have, and that's all I'm asking for. If you guys want to prove this narrative, then it's so simple. Just release the video that shows him taking that shot and getting up and grabbing his rifle, and then we can put all the
Let me add to that. That's what has me skeptical. The official narrative has me very skeptical on a couple things. And one of the things that bothers me is like, remember when they released that footage when they were trying to identify him and he jumps off? They don't show you where he's there and takes the shot. Right?
Actually, they won't.
Why do you guys not show us that so that we can like literally see him taking the
Recharge?
shot, getting up, running across, so that we know he's a shooter? They left that out.
Well, yeah, but is that like sensitivity reasons maybe? Like we don't want to show the actual murder.
Well, here's the thing. I think if you're gonna put it out anyway to try to get the guy identified, you should put out everything.
Well,
and the fact that they didn't show
I disagree.
that bothers me.
I mean, I would defer to you. You did law enforcement.
Yeah.
My concern would be, could that compromise a criminal case against him?
No, because
What if there's something in it that is identifying that if you release to the public, you get false confessions or, right? They don't want to. They don't, maybe he did something unique that they can prove in court that nobody knows, and they don't want these, you know.
yeah, of course. But when you got a case of this type of magnitude where you have an enormous burden of daring some type of public trust, and people are asking questions, and obviously Captain Patel is like, look, I'm going to try to be the most transparent.
Melee doesn't do shit.
They should release that. And what I will also say is that I think it's important that we understand that.
Oh, yes, it
charged by the
does.
state.
Okay, it does more than I thought it did.
By the state. It's actually Utah law enforcement, local it's actually EPS. That's not FBI, that's legal.
But I thought the feds are trying to bring charges.
They are, but at this point, the state's running the criminal investigation since it's going through a state court.
Fellow things told. To bring charges.
kind of
the state say,
maniac.
look, this is the evidence that we don't want you to make public because we're building a case.
One for
And
the
the feds-
Crimson
From the
Raiders.
federal perspective?
Yeah, we have
You
to
and
have different
Claptrap
feds.
secure the
You
area.
could,
I'm on my way.
I mean, I don't see, if you already released the footage in an effort to try to identify the guy when he's jumping off, I don't see why not releasing him taking the shot would be, or at least him in a prone position. You can at least show us that. But it is very skeptical. I'm very skeptical of the fact that they didn't show everything from that point since they already showed him jumping off the roof. And then the fact that there's a second camera angle.
I do want to just start because this I appreciate tremendously. Like these videos of palm guns and other weird stuff, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
There's like 5 conspiracies where everyone's arguing like, of their 5 magic shooters, here's.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why I think they need to release it because now, right? So you have to wait. Okay, if I'm the case agent, right? I'm the case agent, and Patel is the director, right? You're in a weird spot because this is a huge case. The people want to know what's going on. We already know that no one trusts the FBI anymore, right? So it's like,
Have one on me.
is it going to hurt your investigation significantly when you already released a portion of the video from the criminal investigative standpoint? I don't think it does it. Well, hold on. Might as well release it. You got the affidavits. They put their PC out there.
Unless there's something in the
Munchausen.
video you don't know that they don't want to release, right? And that's the challenge. There may be something. I would say this.
Sure,
I
they could be. Yeah.
I'll put it like this, I agree with you, and that I think in most circumstances the probability is they should
Shut.
release it so that we know, and it puts all of this stuff to bed. Because, dude, it is frustrating when I'm like
What's up?
watching these videos that are intentionally put in rage bait that are distracting. I've made this point about conspiracy theories quite a bit. One of the strategies of intelligence agencies to kill a conspiracy theory is to throw false theories out.
Of course.
I'll
So I'm
bet.
like, let's put this to bed.
Well,
so
the
but
cult's
I would say, so I
destroyed
agree with
every
you.
other Crimson Raider
But then I would also
stronghold.
wonder, what if there's like
This'll
this is the
have to do for
5%
now.
where there's something unique
So
to the case
what's
we
your
don't
name,
know
killer?
that could compromise their investigation? Like, what if there is
I'm Zayn.
a potential
You're
link
the lady
between,
from my brain.
Let's put it this way, and it's just
Yeah,
hyper speculation to
about
make an
that.
example.
Sure. The weirdest thing you're
This,
gonna
the
see on
conversation
Pandora.
between
But
the
seriously,
suspected assassin
thanks for answering
and
my call.
the transferee
I don't
boyfriend
have the numbers, but with
is,
a badass
well,
like
I'm just
you,
trying to be
we've got
factual.
a fighting
Is
chance. Welcome to the Crimson.
no one believes it's real. Like, from the far left to the far right to up, down, left, right, everyone's like, are you kidding me? Now, to be fair,
And that's why I think they should release it. Like, I would take losing a little bit of
hold on.
leverage in a criminal investigation to get public trust.
Let me
back.
make this point. So Matt Walsh's theory is that they scripted this conversation immediately afterwards to create reasonable doubt in the event the boyfriend's ever charged with something as an accomplice. The boyfriend can they then go to trial and say, look at this message. It proves the boyfriend didn't know, or at bare minimum, presents reasonable doubt. I don't know. All we can say is it's really weird. There have been some people who have said, trust me, there are these online accounts that track the far left, and they're like, these wacko transferry internet anime dudes literally talk like this because they've got some kind of like developmental weird social thing. And this is again just for the purpose of example, what if in the video it shows potential contact or some kind of connection between the boyfriend and accomplice and the shooter? They're not releasing it because they don't want the public to get access to this information, which could benefit a trans cult that did this. Like, they don't want... They're investigating this Utah-based trans queer rifle group or whatever, as well as a bunch of Discord groups. Cash
I guess
and
maybe
the
you
Utah
can't
government
have
may be
subtitles.
thinking, we don't want them to know we have this information. They will use that to their advantage to try and escape or get away with it or craft, some kind of alternative theories.
Let me add to that. So the first thing that they told us was there was this big plot on Discord. And then literally the day after, the CEO of Discord comes out and says, we've reviewed every single piece of communication that Tyler made on Discord, and there was never any plotting or planning of any type of violence. Now, when you talk about conspiracy theories, so Blake Bednar is the man who also broke the story about him, the crowd crouching down. Blake is working with a group of independent journalists. These are students at the university that have been just relentless about going through and finding every piece of footage. So in the original video, that 60-minute live stream, there's a part of the video where you can see this man filming on the railing that's directly across from Charlie, probably 45, 50 yards out. He's filming with this high-end Sony camera. So Blake was able to track this man down. He got the footage from this man. And yesterday, for the first time, we were able to see what actually happened in a really clear, crispy 4K video, unedited. And in that video, you see it, and I showed it to Myron on the way here. You see, and I sent it to Tim News IRL on X if you want to pull it up. His Blake Bednar's. You see a device. Something goes off under his shirt. Now, this is the first conspiracy theory that I've actually entertained and thought of.
Under Charlie's shirt?
Yeah, where his microphone is. Something goes off, and you see this thing go up into his shirt. It's like something was under his shirt, and it goes up like this, and it snaps. And then at the same time, the necklace, he's wearing a steel necklace, or a silver necklace. The necklace snaps in the front, and then blows off over his head. What detonated? What went off under that shirt? What was it? For the first time, we actually see the cloud of, like, is it a cloud of dust or a cloud of smoke? Myron, you can comment on it. You saw it.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That was a big leap from there's something in the video to a detonation occurred under his shirt.
Well, I don't know how do you explain what would cause this dust. Maybe it was just the way his body reacted and the mic kind of came up and something broke in the mic. That when the necklace broke, it kind of broke that thing. But something like shoots up, or it looks like it shoots up. It goes up into his shirt and then instantly snaps back down in slow motion. And all the experts that were saying that he originally was wearing a bulletproof vest, when you're watching something like they said that
they're not experts when they said that.
Well, they're saying that his body reacted before you actually seen the hole. So his body recoiled, and then all of a sudden it was like something hit the vest and the bullet shot up into his head.
But again, these people are not experts. Like, you know this. You're gonna see the body hit before you're gonna see a hole break.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like the body armor thing was so annoying.
Pull up that video and watch
because
it.
there's just photos of it. You can see his nipples, and then people started saying, "Oh no, it's a central plate over his heart." I'm like, "No, it's not."
Yeah, people
Yeah,
were
the
saying
thing is that there's so many different, because with this situation, first it was he had bulletproof armor and it ricocheted up and hit him in the neck. Then it was, no, his nipples are showing, there's no way he had body armor. Then it's like, oh no, the device exploded, under his shirt. Other people said, well, the rifle is so powerful that, it just blew the shirt up. Like, I've heard so many different theories, and it's like, at this point, I don't know what to believe. I'm obviously like looking at all the evidence. I'm just extremely skeptical of everything they've been telling us, because it's like, one thing comes out and they're like, oh no, that's not true. Like, I just heard that the rifle you were telling me that they had the picture up.
Yeah,
that's not even the rifle that they seized.
There's no official.
Then no serial number on the rifle. Like what?
So the first thing is the photo that came out of the rifle.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not an antique Mauser. That was my first thought.
Yeah, it was a modern one. It was a modern looking one.
That's what I said.
Plastic. I mean, but hey, look, I don't know.
And then
Yeah, I was like, that's a
Wait, was it a Mauser?
that's a
Yeah,
World
it was-
War
and
II
then that's
weapon,
another thing.
or one, or
Let's be
what,
honest,
two,
there,
or something like an
Mr.
old
Charlie, if
weapon,
you got
like
hit by that
basically like
round,
almost 100 years
it
old.
would've
No,
Well, hey, hold on.
that one I disagree with.
And I want to say this too: is there's
Disagree
no
with that?
official. There's no official reporting that says it's a 30-06. That is only came from the Turning Point team, that the Jan who released that. In the indictment, it says bolt-action rifle. So what the FBI's been doing is they've been coming back, and after we eat their theories apart, they go, wait, where'd you hear that at? That was not an official narrative. We never said that. That came from the media or somebody else. I'm saying there's nothing official that I've seen yet that says a 30-06.
That's important. I didn't know that.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, because everyone has been 30-06. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong. So maybe somebody in the live chat can pull up an FBI document or something official that shows.
This was.
Where did that come from? That
This was
30
Crowder's. This was Crowder's reporting, wasn't it?
Pull it up. See if there's anything
30-06, yeah.
in the indictment, in the charges.
It was that DOJ document.
Yeah, and that came from ATF, by the way.
I was kind of hoping I could do subtitles,
Right.
but
Because in the charging document, it only says bolt-action rifle. That was the 10-page PDF that they released.
Yeah.
5 or 6 days ago.
But
So
keep in
maybe
mind,
since
with these
then-
criminal complaints, they don't have they put the minimum for probable
what I heard.
cause. So like, you know, when I was an agent, you're gonna put the least amount you need just to get paper on them and put them.
So
in
let me pull this in.
Yeah, because
And
it was Crowder that reported it.
yeah, so this is DOJ.gov ATF document that says, it'll probably be easier to read if I just do this.
Yeah.
It says the ATF and other law enforcement located an older model imported Mauser 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near the campus.
Yeah.
So here's the important thing.
That's
We don't know
important
what that rifle
that
was
comes
even
from the
running on
ATF.
the
That's-
It's still fair to say
What are we working with
this
here?
does not confirm it,
Place kinda sucks.
and
Well,
I
you
would
gotta
wait
know.
for an official statement. And the reason why is
Had to start from scratch.
this is the initial report they got, which also mentions cartridges expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. It is fair to say that what was written on that could be better described. Transgender and anti-fascist ideology is not incorrect, but is it possible that the initial report from the ATF when they found the rifle was the presumption of a 30-06 they included in the report, and then later they're like, oh, actually it was a 308? Like this was not an official release, so I think we should be careful.
Of course, but I will say this: they
Oh,
subpoenaed
okay.
him for this. So
Oh, I know.
yeah, so that's
It's real. It's real.
Yeah, it's real. That means it's definitely real. It's probably mostly accurate because the fact that they subpoenaed him so quickly after, there's definitely an internal affairs DOJ.
I'm just saying, is it possible when the ATF, when the law enforcement found it, a guy who didn't know said 30-06 but wasn't sure, like made a mistake?
Nah, all those guys at ATF are.
No, this was law enforcement who recovered it, not ATF.
No,
ATF
but this is internal documents from the ATF.
We don't even know if that was
What
the
they're
gun that we had
they're
on the
saying.
roof. We don't know if that was the gun he had the roof. They found
Every
it.
ATF agent
Right.
is a gun expert. They have one of the most intensive academies when it comes to firearms and identifying firearms because if you charge someone with 18 U.S.C. 922, right, which is found in possession of a firearm, one of the things you need to establish is something called interstate nexus. And for you to establish interstate nexus, you need to have the firearm, do a test fire, and then establish that different parts of that gun come from different places, therefore affecting interstate commerce. That's how the feds get the jurisdiction. So everyone at the ATF, especially the agents, all have a ridiculous amount of knowledge for the guns because they have a very difficult test to graduate their academy.
This is actually a really good breakdown, or a pause point.
I
Just
really
saying,
wanted that midget.
we're not even thinking it. You're right.
Come back here.
They found a gun.
It was like,
We don't know for sure.
like
this is the
Preston
gun.
from Jackass.
We assume it is. Now,
Come back here.
Based off the text
Chasing
messages,
Wee Man.
Exactly.
which are weird.
And if there was multiple people involved,
Come
that
back
could have
here.
been the trans boyfriend's gun that was waiting
Yes,
for
come back here.
fire or anything.
Oh.
We don't know.
Exactly.
and done it.
Right. The trans boyfriend, and again, why the message is so weird. That may have been crafted. This is, listen. What if some have speculated the trans boyfriend is the actual shooter, and that the guy who got arrested is just taking the fall for it? I mean, honestly, we have no idea. But you make a good point. What if the reason those messages were crafted was because the boyfriend was like, uh-oh, they're gonna find the backup gun.
That's true. He vanished yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, he's gone missing, yeah.
Well, people have said, the neighbors have said the house, the mail is piling up. They don't know where he's at. So, well, why wouldn't you?
It seems like
I would have been in Mexico.
Now, again, I want to stress this. I think it's absolutely fair to look at all the evidence laid before us. You made a great point that the FBI has not formally stated it's a 30-06. That I was unaware of. The knowledge of this comes from the leaked message for which Crowder's been subpoenaed for. So right now,
But this is ATF, so I would say.
right. But my point is,
But yeah.
a weapon was found does not mean weapon was used. And these distinctions are important. I would lean towards, I think the feds are probably looking at this suspected shooter being like, we know we got him, but we don't get how. Like, how does this all come together and make sense? These other narratives about palm guns, and I'm going to say it, the Israel stuff, I'm like, just stop. I'm with Nick Fuentes on this one. Like, literally within 3 hours, people were like, Israel did it. And I'm like, guys, come on. I will also add, this is really funny. There's this video, it's got 6 million views from Range Day Bro, which I'm not gonna show. He actually shows a bit. I'm not gonna play it. I just gotta say to Range Day Bro, I watched the video, and there's a point where he explains that Charlie Kirk was shot from behind, but then shows a video of the people in front of Charlie Kirk and says that's where the shooter may have been. And I'm like, but that's in front of Charlie Kirk. So how could it have come from behind and the front? That being said, he points to this grainy image, which I might be able to highlight without actually showing anything graphic. This right here, pull this up. So this right here is what he says is in front of Charlie Kirk is a bush which appears to show a man crouched and with a weapon.
It's so blurry. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Grainy blotch for which
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it's a bush. I got the original. I had a guy go back and take a photo of it. It's
You want to know what the funniest thing is, though?
Oh, that's a bush right there?
Hold on.
complete bush. Yeah.
I screen grabbed this, I put it into ChatGPT, and I said, enhance. And do you know what it gave me?
Enhance.
I'm going to pull up this image. I'm going to pull up this image so you can see what it
Enhance.
showed me. When, let me
Enhance.
see if I can, I got it right
Print
here.
the goddamn thing.
Let me,
It's the friend.
here you go. Wait, hold on.
Hurry it up, Tim.
Here it is.
Yeah.
This is not a joke.
Joe Biden.
I took a
in Marine
screenshot
Corps
and I
camo.
wrote enhance this image
No
to full
way.
clarity, and it gave me an image of Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. He's in like military.
Marine Corps camp.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Marpat.
He's wearing like
So,
a helmet
anyway,
and
I'll
everything. He's just yeah. He's got a
There's a lot of
BDU
people
on.
who are getting angry about the conspiracy theories and all that stuff.
It's
and my attitude is,
Biden. Just.
I think it is.
I didn't think that was
important
real
we
at first, but
discuss
it
this
actually
stuff. I
was.
think you're actually
That's
bringing up
funny.
really
With
great points about
Chat
what we
GPT,
do
we
know
got
that's
you, bud.
confirmed by law enforcement and what's not. But like, look at this. Thing.
Yeah, and I
Not
think
that I
that's
like-
the best way. I think the best way to handle this is like as evidence comes in,
Oh,
keep
shit.
an open mind, analyze the evidence, see
You
how
knocked me over.
link it with whatever other evidence you have. And you know, there's just been so many different theories that have come out there.
The palm gun one has to be one of the dumbest.
Yeah, palm gun, Israel, shooter behind him,
Flash in the corner.
flash in the corner. Or I saw one.
Oh,
someone
yeah.
said a rifle was out of a window.
Yeah, the guys are giving baseball
You know,
signs.
a doctor was on the scene the next day, disguised, got arrested. Zin, there's so many different.
you know,
he's definitely crazy.
You know what? You know about the trap door, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, the trap door. Yeah, I heard.
And
What?
You know what?
God damn.
And you know what one of the theories is, right?
No.
Hey, he's alive. Charlie's alive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
God.
He went through the trap door. I'm like, guys.
A
holy
trap
crap.
door?
The phone calls that I was getting of people like freaking out, crying. I'm like, they killed Charlie Kirk, dude. And it's weird to me that these conspiracy theories are, is it for views? I don't know, but it's effectively absolving violent far leftists
Yeah.
that have been threatening Charlie Kirk's life for a long time and who are the primary suspects in this.
A lot of the conspiracy theorists, I really still believe that there are so many people that feel like they got taken by the government when it comes to the COVID narrative or other things that have come to light in the past that the government's admitted to lying about. They're like, well, you're not going to get me again. So whatever the government says, they don't believe, and they will look for it. And that's why they're looking. There's so many different narratives now. They're looking for another narrative that the government doesn't line up with the official narrative is, because they don't want to feel like they got tricked by the government.
I want to say this too. I want to say this. So Israel is our greatest ally, and they're really in a bad spot right now, right? Okay, so they're really in a bad spot publicly and with both left and right. Now, there's probably 50 to 75% of people are convinced that Israel was involved in this in some way, shape, or form. If you're the FBI,
75%.
and you can, if you're the FBI, you and your Turning Point USA had 3 cameras filming at 30 to 60 frames per second. There's Sony FX3s or FX30s with G Master lenses on them. There's 3 of cameras within 7 feet of Charlie. You can see 2, at least 1 in the right edge of that corner right there. There's 1 right to his left, and there's 1 directly behind him. We also have Turning Point employees tampering with an active crime scene, which I vouch for them. I said, as a videographer, I don't trust this FBI. If I thought that I had video footage of Charlie's assassin on one of my memory cards, and I'm thinking that the FBI is going to get the only video footage of this evidence, I would have taken that memory card too. And then Ian Carroll goes, yeah, but you're the type of dude who would have uploaded it online immediately after. I go, that's the first thing I would have did is uploaded that. So you're right. I wouldn't have taken those cards and hid that footage. Candace says she's seen the footage, but she's only seen the camera from behind him.
And she saw it on FaceTime.
Yes, and there's 2 cameras directly in front of him. So all I'm saying is if it is their obligation, because it would totally dismiss every conspiracy theory. Give us the video of him getting on the roof. Give us 2 more minutes of the video that you've already released, and if you can't do that, then you're hiding something, period.
And that's my position. Like,
Well, of course they're hiding.
like what Phil's saying. Like,
They're always
people,
hiding something.
people don't trust the government anymore. And Cash came in.
Anymore?
They don't. Like, well, they did before, but like a little bit more than now. But like people don't trust the government. Like government approval ratings and trust has dropped off precipitously. And obviously, Cash is like, look, I'm going to come in, I'm going to be more transparent, etc. This case obviously is huge. People are interested in knowing what's going on. I do think they should be a bit more transparent with this case, because here's the thing: when you aren't transparent, and since people have been duped by the U.S. government for so long, that's where all these theories come.
Exactly.
So they need to get ahead of this, and because me and Ryan were talking about this too, because he was saying like, look, if a bad narrative comes out, are the feds going to come in and correct it? Let me put my agent hat back on. No, you're not gonna correct it. You're gonna be like, let them run with whatever they want. I'm still running my case. You're not gonna care if I'm the investigator. But the problem is now you're getting to a point where people don't trust the government. So you need to be transparent to some degree, especially at least to deal with some of these conspiracy theories, because they run wild when you don't present everything.
And he addressed the one with the plane. Cash has been literally going and addressing conspiracy theories on his personal Twitter account.
Because here's the other thing too: the press conferences that they've done are fucking garbage. Like they don't talk about anything, they don't answer anything. They let this stupid governor talk. Put a law enforcement guy there that's running the case.
What you're describing is that, but there's 2 different, ends that you're talking about, right? Like
Sure.
what the FBI is looking for is to have the proper process, ostensibly to have the proper process to find the person guilty and then
Of course.
put him in jail. What's good for the overall government is not what's good for the FBI in that process. What's good for the overall government and for the American people are different, because it's better for the overall government to release all the information as much as you can, so that way that might hopefully help to reinstill trust in the government. Okay, they gave us all the information. Maybe this time, maybe the Trump administration is actually doing better. Maybe it's getting better. But for the FBI, it's much better for them to keep all of the information that they can as close to their chest.
And let me tell you guys, how the FBI works. As someone who's worked with them several times, they have a very bad habit of classifying everything, not sharing information, not being transparent. It's a very bad habit that I'll tell you guys a funny story. I was working a Hawala case, this is like 10 years ago, right, on a group of people that might have been suspected of some terrorism, right? And I gave them information on some flight records, right? Because HSI has access to everyone coming in and out of the country to help them out. I called them back because I didn't have access to, I was out in the field or some shit like that. I hit the back, I was like, hey, what was that info on the travel stuff that I gave you? Oh, I can't disclose that, it's classified. I'm like, I gave you that. What are you talking about? It's classified. But they have a very bad habit of over-classifying things and not being transparent. So, and this is why people don't trust them anymore. And this is why other law enforcement agencies hate working with them. Because they just have this very bad habit of stealing information. If they get it, they don't share information. They classify everything. So I think at this point, with the huge amount of distrust what the public has with the FBI, they need to come out and at least dispel these myths. And for example, releasing the full footage of the guy shooting the gun, then getting up and running across the roof. That's not going to hurt your investigation, dude. Put that out. But they haven't.
I want to read this. This is what FBI posted. He says, as the director of the FBI, I'm committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence that has emerged, but our efforts extend beyond initial findings. We are examining every facet of this assassination. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, the text message confession and related conversations, Discord chats, the angle of the shot and the bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of the assassination, and visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10th. Some details are known today, while others are still being pursued. To ensure every possibility is considered, our primary focus is to complete this investigation and deliver justice. Protect the integrity of the investigation and subsequent prosecution.
I love it.
We cannot
That
release
run
every
is
piece of information
legit.
we have in public
I want to
right
get in front of
now. We'll
him.
ensure every question is addressed at the appropriate moment. Regarding specific details, such as questions about the plane that allegedly turned off its transponder and after departing from an airport near the assassination site, we can share updates when answers are confirmed. After interviews with the pilot and the consultation with the FAA, we determined the transponder was not turned off. Flight data in
Just-
rural areas caused the apparent gap. The entire FBI mourns the loss of Charlie Kirk. We will not rest until justice is served.
I've already
The
laughed more.
investigation into this assassination will continue until every
It's like I was
question
really
is answered.
wanting for it to be
What I wanna
good, but
say
it just
about Cash and this especially.
I give him credit compared to other FBI directors, and I did give him a credit on this
He's-
compared to
yeah. And
Gray,
2
all
is
the
even
other guys
funnier than
were
this
way
one.
better.
So it's
He's
like,
trying to be
yeah,
transparent, but what I will say is there are two
just missed the days. of
principal
Good
scenarios
writing.
with Cash Patel and Dan Bongino. And the reason why I lean towards they are telling the truth is either
I like this one
Cash
'cause all
and
the
Dan are
cameos.
in on the conspiracy, whatever it may be.
Yeah, there's several
or they're telling
cameos.
us the
That's
truth. I do not believe
what's his name?
that Cash and Dan Bongino, who are really good friends with Charlie, would have allowed him to be murdered and would be in on anything like that. The only
Doesn't he
argument
do
to
like
that
a
is
gaming channel
the
or
theory that
something?
Charlie Kirk
Or like he
escaped
used to
through
do like a
trapdoor,
gaming
the
channel?
whole
I
thing's
can't
fake, and
remember.
Cash and Dan and Charlie are.
It's been too long.
There's no way, dude.
Okay, well, what
Like,
about?
you did make so many leaps.
Look,
Okay, hold on.
I think he's an improvement from before, of course, right? Being
Ah!
transparent. But, you know, I do think this isn't a JTTF case. This isn't a terrorism case. This isn't a high side case. This is basically, you know, it's a murder investigation. I think they can release a bit more.
Now, doesn't
They can.
Cash Patel, isn't it FBI policy that him and Bongino both, because they're emotionally, neither of them would have had their positions that they would have got appointed by the Trump administration if it wasn't for the work that Charlie Kirk and his organization did? Isn't it policy that they would recuse themselves
Oh,
from this
that's cool.
investigation? And then take it a step further and you go,
Well,
okay, hold on,
Keep
hold
in
on.
mind, they're not the
Let's address that
Hold
one.
on, let me, you can break that down. But what I want to make this last point is that, okay, so if they can't release this video that shows Tyler in the prone position taking this shot, and this does become something bigger, you now have George then with the patsy, then that would make Tyler and them on the roof, that guy not be the shooter, and then you start to look at all the moving parts and you go, well, who would be capable of carrying that out? And then you have just now released that there was no autopsy done. That the coroner, that the doctor just signed off the death certificate, and there was no autopsy actually done, and they did find the bullet or they didn't find the bullet, and according to the Turning Point spokesperson, he got information from a doctor which would violate every HIPAA law and released information without a written statement.
That's not true.
Okay, well maybe that's not true then, but still you got
Which
this.
part isn't true?
The HIPAA stuff. It's like I don't know. Like there's like the first thing that I heard. There is so much speculative movie-based stuff like the HIPAA thing. The first thing I heard from everybody was that was a professional shot, and I'm like, why did you make that up? Like I'm not saying an individual. We had a guest on and they were like, that was a professional shot. And I was like, who told you that? Because that is not true. Phil knows this better than I do. I go to the range. I watch a 12-year-old with a bolt action make every shot from 100 yards. A 12-year-old, because his dad was like, "I'm gonna zero." He got him a new rifle. We're out in West Virginia. This is common stuff, and I am far from an expert. But iron sights with my 480 with slugs, I don't miss at 50 yards.
Yeah, shooting a rifle, people don't know this, is actually significantly easier than shooting a
Yeah,
handgun.
I suck with handguns.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because people
Yeah.
know, but I'm bad.
Rifles are way easier to shoot than handguns. But, you know, I do think, you know, releasing that footage wouldn't hurt. But yeah, there's been, the autopsy thing you were mentioning. And then, like, I think the New York Post reported a couple days ago that the surgeon said, oh, he blocked, you know, he has really, his bones blocked the bullet.
But look, so a statement was made. Andrew Colvett came out and he wrote this big long thing saying, I talked to the doctor.
It's a miracle.
The family has agreed that I can release this information.
Now
So
remind
this would
me.
in no way
Ellie,
violate HIPAA.
yeah.
If a doctor was talking,
Documents signed, according
Yeah,
to
I
the
miss
law,
the
but
old
no,
so
characters.
why wouldn't Colvett have that?
Ellie, Scooter.
It's just,
that he had that.
I mean, he's literally
I guess
friends with
Moxie's
family,
still
how-
around, but
And Erica certainly would
Who
want people
else?
to know.
So they said there's
I know
an
there's
autopsy.
more.
There's news comes out today saying there wasn't an autopsy on the dispatch. And we
Jack.
haven't seen an autopsy report.
Jack.
I'd like to see that too.
I think it's fair to question if we're getting conflicting.
It's always
reports.
been Jack.
He said that he can. He said no, a doctor.
He
you
was
talk
the
to
best
generally
bad
cannot
guy
disclose
ever.
deceased information. Or maybe he can. I don't know.
The other thing I want to mention too in this regard with like you mentioned Cash being too close to this case. People need to understand that we don't live in a locked, rigid world of laws. The only laws that actually bind us are the physical laws, and laws are ignored all the time. It's not about
Just a
what
little
the law
pink
says, it's
trailer.
what people are willing to do. And if we're
That's
and
totally
as well,
hers.
I'll just say this: fair point. If the law says you can't, certainly never stop the bank robber. So if people are like, but he wouldn't be allowed to share that because of HIPAA, I'm like, unless they just said they did not care and did it anyway, because who's going to go after him? The governor of Utah? No way.
Let me explain this real quick because this is important. So, as a director of the FBI, right, you're so high up, like he's not running the case.
Yeah.
There's going to be an FBI special agent, a GS-13, that's probably going to be running this investigation with a squad where there's an SSA or supervisory special agent over him, then an ASAC and everything else like that. So on the ground, when it comes to interviewing subjects, collecting evidence, etc., Cash isn't doing that. There's a group that's doing that in Utah, probably out of that field office. Now, obviously, they're reporting what they're finding up the chain to him, but as far as like making decisions on the investigation, that's on the case agent. So he's gonna know everything.
So about the bullet, the exit wound stuff, there are a bunch of these videos from gun guys who they've done ballistics tests, they've gone viral, and what I don't understand about this is that, well, I don't want to impugn anyone's honor, so I won't say anyone specifically, but it took me just a couple of seconds to make a few phone calls from ballistic experts, gun guys, and then backing it up with general research to find that a 30-06 does stop in the body. That the argument that people are making that it would have blown his neck out and there would have been a massive exit wound is...
Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit,
the general
that
assessment
argument.
from everyone I've talked to and read is probably, but not always. And so, to the point you made about Colvett saying it was like a magic bullet.
Ooh,
or
which one
he
we
didn't say it was magic bullet, he said
doing?
Charlie was so young and strong that his body stopped the bullet and he saved other
Yeah,
he saved
his
people's
bones
lives.
stopped it or something.
And
Sentinel.
that's probable.
Did you
Or I
clone?
should say that is possible is a better way to describe it. So I made some calls. I asked some people. I did some online research, and we even have a super chat right here. Everyday Tinkerer says, the explosion honestly looks to me like cavitation. If it was a 30-06 125 grain, SST, NOS, BT, WinXP would be light enough not to exit and cause
I kind of like
massive
the
cavitation.
clone
When
idea.
you watch the video, when I watched that
I'm not
video,
sure.
Is it a lower quality version of the round?
It's
Smaller.
the small, lightweight, so the grains of the bullet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get
smaller
a 30 caliber bullet. You can get a bunch of different weights.
and maybe what, like soft tip, like not.
This is because I'm thinking in my head like there's 9mm that's like that sucks and there's 9mm that's really good.
Yeah, so like you
Right?
can get, like a
So-
9mm. Sometimes it's like you can get them that are 115 or 145
Right.
grains. That's the weight of the bullet.
So, we all saw the video. When I was at a restaurant with my family, or with friends and my wife, my family, and I've told this story before. The first video that I saw, I thought the quality is low, it's far away. I was like, maybe a handgun up close, Charlie can survive. And the initial rumors that were going around was that a man was screaming at him. This is what people were saying. A man was screaming at him about trans people and then shot him. And so when I saw the video, I was like, that maybe it was a small caliber handgun. I think Charlie will be okay. Luke Rutkowski hit
yeah,
me up and he
orange
was
and
like,
blue.
long story short, there's no way. You got to see this other video. As soon as I saw the picture,
Kami.
I knew that Charlie was gone. More importantly than for most people, I know this is pretty gruesome to talk about, but we're trying to get to this, right? We're trying to understand what's going on. The blood that comes out. Charlie's lights went out instantly. Which
Yeah, they did.
indicates it hit his spine.
Agree.
And so
Oh.
when people are saying, where's the exit wound? I'm like, a bullet entering from a high angle at a downward angle struck Charlie's spine, stopping the bullet from exiting and knocking and killing him instantly. And Frank Turek said the same thing. When they brought him to the vehicle, he was in the car and they were trying to stop the bleeding. He knew that Charlie was already gone, that his lights went out in an instant. And
We were able to get a pulse back on him right when he got to the hospital for a short period of time. That's what I was told.
and that's where, right, and that's, so I also had a high-level source, a direct source, saying that they stabilized Charlie. And people got mad at me for tweeting that, but I'm like, you know what, man? This is the human emotional state.
I'm glad you did, bro, because I was on stream and you did that, and I know, like, I was like, okay.
I
we'll do that. I'm gonna hold you.
got a message, made a phone call. They said, Charlie is stable. And I said, can I report this? And they said, yes, they've stabilized him. He's critical but stable. AP reported the same thing external to me.
Yep.
And the reason, and then I will add to this too, I think everybody who knew Charlie knew he was dead the moment he died, but no one said a word online. And it wasn't until 15 or 20 minutes later that the first
I
That's when
I
Well, it was-
I
it was just
knew,
the news that made the
like,
official statement.
That was 90 minutes later. I thought.
those were my exact words. I was like, I'd be very surprised if he lives from this.
I had
But
received
I
phone calls from
was
people
hoping and praying
just,
that
like,
he
screaming and
did.
crying.
But it was just like, I
And
was
it's
like,
really
I
hard,
just
telling me that he was dead and we
being
all knew
realistic about the
before he was dead.
situation, looking at that
And
shot, I was
nobody
like,
would-
I don't
nobody would
know
tweet.
how you survived from
Libby was
that.
saying, she told her newsroom, we will be the last
Because
people
when
to
you saw
report
the
this
close-up shot, it was
Nobody
brutal.
wanted to say
It was pretty
They
hard to
wanted believe it
watch.
was true. When I was
Poor
told that he
fucking
was
dude.
stable, we wanted to believe that he was stable and this wasn't going to be what happened. So, back to the point
Still
about the
just
30
burns
ounces.
me. Just burns me
All
up.
these people are, coming out being like, "Oh, it's a magic bullet." I'm like, no, dude. The bullet entered at an angle. It hit his spine, deflected inward, did not exit the body, and it killed him instantly.
Bullets do real weird stuff when they go, like once they go inside your body, they hit it. They'll follow bones. They'll get deflected into all kinds of weird ways. They break apart weird. They do weird shit when they, when you get shot. Like the bullet itself, they do weird shit. Like.
And the quality of the bullet matters.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is why law enforcement went from a 9, to a 40. Then they went back to the 9, but it's high quality 9 now. So.
Oh,
Do you think it's
hijack the
possible?
vehicle?
It was like an antique. They said it was like an old gun he
Yeah,
had.
they said it was a World War I gun.
Maybe the bullet was very, very old. I mean, would that have an impact? I don't know.
It could look.
Anyone's guess is.
The other thing,
I think that it was a lightweight bullet. I think that it was like.
So we officially don't have a picture of the gun, do we? We don't.
well,
No. It was.
they
it was
put out an
caliber,
image.
just the
Yeah,
weight
but
of
that's not it.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
I-
that's crazy. We don't even have the actual photo of the real
Catch
gun.
a
I
ride.
wanted to point out, too,
Well, Cash Patel was financially.
Yeah, I
involved,
can't believe they
right?
didn't have
Shouldn't
Catch a
be
Ride
himself.
in
I mean, he was literally helping
the new
Cash's
one.
fight with Cash. He brought him on his show. And when I
Cash
was trying to
Patel a
get
ride.
It wasn't directly through Charlie. I would have to go through another act, like a company that was kind of working with Charlie and get me on his podcast. But it was like $25,000 to get on there for a show. So like that's a big financial investment. He could bring you on a show whether it was for free. or
Catch a
whether it was
ride
for
and
whatever
cash
the
me
reason was.
outside.
There is a direct tie
Oh.
to Cash's nonprofit and Charlie Kirk helping promote it and fundraise for it. So you have that.
Oh, you
Plus you have the emotional fact that he was involved.
I remember
in
being
the
able to do that.
it was Charlie
Hijacking
who
cars.
The only cash. Remember the only cash thing that was going around? You're trying to get cash confirmed. So you have two direct conflict of interest where you would think that he would say, of this according to Kyle Seraphin, would say that like, hey, listen, I'm financially or emotionally involved. Me and Dan Bongino are both going to personally recuse ourselves from this investigation. We're not going to look at it. We're not going to touch it. We fully trust our secretary, the new agent in charge, the ASEC in charge, and we're going to leave the investigation right there. We're going to part with it.
Yeah, I mean they're the ones.
but that's
FBI policy. That's their
Yeah,
policy,
but-
not my opinion. Their policy.
and so they broke the policy. This is the thing about when your good friend is murdered, you're gonna be like,
But
stop me.
Doesn't that go against the defense attorneys? Aren't they going to have a problem when Cash Patel is violating their own policy?
I gotta be honest, dude. There are things that I would do that are indescribable, regardless of what the policy states. And like, we have to understand once again, we can make a procedural argument, but Cash is violating policy. And I'd be like, I'm sure Cash would have beaten that man to death with his bare hands if he was there. So to say that Cash and Dan would not fly out for the murder of their friend
Well, he
is
didn't.
policy.
For 2 hours, 2 hours after this story broke, after Charlie was shot, Cash was dining at an upscale New York restaurant. You can fact check me on that.
And
Pull it up if you
making
want.
a phone call
and then
to charter
for
a plane
12
ticket.
hours. For 12 hours, Cash did not even receive a photo of the suspect for 12 hours after the investigation. How are you the FBI director? Please explain this to me. Your buddy, your best friend, Charlie Kirk takes a bullet to the neck. Then you go out and get a steak dinner, and then 12 hours later, you still haven't seen a photo of the suspect.
I
would've
was
been
eating
all
Thai
hands on
food
deck.
when Charlie Kirk was murdered, and I stayed there to finish my meal after watching a video of him die. We don't know the inner workings of what Cash had to do when he was. Where was he? Was he in New York?
Yeah, New York, at an upscale restaurant.
He's in New York, and he finds out this happens. I'll tell you, I can't speak for Cash. I'll tell you what I do. If I was the head of the FBI, based on how my life works and how we deal with things, chartering a plane is not something you can do instantly.
He has a private jet.
And chartering a private jet isn't something you can do instantly. You've got to call in a ground crew. Ground crew has FAA restrictions on when they can fly. This is why when Kanye West came on this show and had a private jet waiting for him, we called shenanigans, because you can't get ground crew. They're under restrictions. It's something I forget what it was, but he storms out of the show, goes right to the local regional airport, and there's a jet waiting for him with the crew active. And I said, we called our charter company, and they said that's not possible. That he called and got a private jet on the spot like that, because there's FAA restrictions on how long someone has to be awake for, and how long they've been awake they can't fly or something like this. So I'm just saying, there's an infinite possibility of reasons why Cash did not immediately run onto a plane and fly out there.
Catch a ride,
Possibly
Patel.
chartering issues. Maybe the plane wasn't even in New York at the time. Whatever it might be. I don't think any of that is indicative of potential wrongdoing.
I'll speak to this. Like,
real quick, we can certainly say Cash should have followed policy. He should have recused himself. I'm also going to be like, the things I think Cash and Dan would have done would have probably put them in prison if they were there on the spot. It's like, I'm watching the show Peacemaker, and I know this is just fiction, but it's Rick Flag just mercilessly beats Peacemaker for killing his son. The things a person would do. So getting on a plane, flying there.
Go to Holy Broadcast Center.
The lightest thing
Get phone map.
you'd probably imagine.
Fingerprints of scum.
What I'll say, just because as a director, you're really high up and you're the face of the agency. He's not there making on-ground decisions when it comes to the actual investigation. So I think he's far enough removed. Now, if they want to play it safe,
The fingerprints of
they
him.
could have had maybe the other, because aren't there two deputy directors? They just hired another.
Oh,
guy, right?
this is
He could've
much
been the one
bigger than I
giving the
thought.
announcements and
Alright.
stuff like that. But I do think it's important.
Much bigger than I
People understand that,
thought.
like, it goes special agent, then it goes SSA,
Oh.
then it goes ASAC, assistant special agent in charge, then it goes to SAIC, special agent in charge, then you go into like directors, then you go all the way up.
Find
to
a
all the way
happy
up. So
place.
He's very high up where he's basically just reporting, but he's not making on-scene decisions from the case perspective. So, you know, that's what they would probably argue with, because you said, hey, his defense might say, hey, well, aren't you a buddy of this guy? This is a conflict of interest. That's what I predict the FBI will respond.
I
Off what I know.
That's smart.
I also
Typhon
think,
de Leon.
I'm going to read this Rumble rant from Aussie97. He says, I think everyone is blowing this up into something bigger than what it was. Everything is happening just as Yuri Bezmenov said in his 1984 interview about Marxist radicalization. There is an angle to this. Let me just first start by saying the conspiracy theories I don't appreciate are like Israel did it. I'm like, Charlie Kirk was actually so pro-Israel. He said he had shockingly offensive jokes about Gaza. You heard that joke he said about no tall buildings anymore?
Yeah.
Now they can't throw gay people off of them. I'm like, I don't think that's a guy that Israel would be upset with. I don't appreciate the weird weapon stuff. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to people who want to pursue that. Like, I'm not your boss. You can do whatever you want. But I do think there is a possibility of conspiracy beyond the official story we're getting. I think Cash has made that point. He doesn't know what he's investigating. And as to the point about Yuri Bezmenov, I think it's important to consider that the motive for the assassination of Charlie Kirk, excuse me, may not be that this guy is just some fringe lefty wacko who hated Charlie Kirk. It may actually be that these leftists were like, how do we foment conflict and crisis in this country? And the real plan between this trans armed group is more sophisticated than we want to admit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, I want the autopsy and I want the full footage of us seeing this guy take the shot from a prone position, like they're saying, and running across. I want to see that so that we can kind of build, you know, the timeline better. And the fact that, like, we don't have this stuff, it's creating more questions than answers.
I'll say the same thing.
Which is
too.
what's leading to all these different theories.
If you can't release that footage and there is something bigger here, then obviously the first suspect would be Israel, because they literally have an entire Wikipedia page dedicated to previous assassinations that they carried out. They're one of the only militaries that has a special branch that's literally dedicated to specifically carrying out assassinations. So I think that's why everybody's first instinct was going to Israel.
No. The first instinct was Israel because people are obsessed with Israel.
Well, the
Yeah,
first 2 weeks of
that's what
Charlie's
I
career,
thought.
I mean, he was literally going hard. I mean, he was literally separating himself, and then he turned down $150 million from Netanyahu. And that we were talking about that in the car right over here. That's like sitting down with a mafia boss. And he's like, yeah,
Israel
we're
is
family here.
pretty
You know
fucked
what, we're
up.
gonna
They've
give you
done
$1
some really
million,
fucked up
and we're gonna
shit,
make
but
you
it's
part of
not
the family. You're now one of us.
always
And he's
Israel.
like, nope, nope.
I mean, I
do
could be
is
wrong,
I'm
but-
on the street, I'm gonna start my own mafia. And how about that? You're
So-
not walking out of that meeting.
Just
So this is what
every
this would take
single
me to right
time
now.
Israel,
Gen Z
Epstein,
support for
Israel.
Israel's
Like,
24%.
I don't know.
Charlie Kirk has been holding meetings to convince Gen Z influencers to support Israel.
Well, why did he turn down $150 million from Netanyahu then?
Didn't want it? I don't know.
I think he was waking up to the fact of what was going on in Gaza.
I think it's silly to argue simultaneously that he had a secret meeting with Bill Ackman in the Hamptons to convince Gen Z to support Israel, and then Israel killed him. So the argument right now on Israel is losing support at a tremendous rate among the younger generation. Charlie Kirk is holding interventions. Like you saw the video where he sat down with these Gen Z guys, and he's like, "Don't be mad at Israel." And then Netanyahu was like, "How can we get rid of this guy who's our greatest advocate for Gen Z?" That makes no sense. What honestly makes more sense? We got one super chat. Let me see if I can find this one. Here we go. From Aramov, he says Turkey took out Charlie because he spoke against Islam. If we're talking, I don't think either of those are true.
That
but I
blue
get the
looks
point being
awesome.
made.
I like that.
People are like, Israel killed their
Reminds me of
greatest
one of those
advocate
glow
among Gen
lights.
Z. Why would
Used
they
to
do
get
that?
as a kid, go to like the
Well, I think
bowling
that
alley
I think that you
in
put
the
all this
city
money
back in the
into
day and
investment,
get them
and
glow
you're looking at
lights.
the last 2 weeks
Those
of
were like one of the
his
coolest
life,
things I ever
and you're
saw
going,
when I was a
if
kid.
this
I was
man
like,
is
dude, this
doing-
thing's
if he is
freaking
going to
awesome.
stand up and speak out against
Keeping
what
this
happened
thing
in Gaza,
forever.
because
The
I've
next
had
day,
Jeff
it's
David show
a dud.
saying, like,
It's
listen,
just not glowing
I
anymore.
was in Israel, and
Glow
it took me
sticks were
45 minutes to
awesome,
get into a
weren't
chopper
they?
and fly across
Why
the
were
country.
those
So
so
you mean to
awesome?
tell me that for 6 hours that Israel didn't respond
It's
to
like
the
you
attacks on
show that to a
9/11?
kid now, I'd be like,
How is that possible?
I can do that on my
It's possible. I
phone.
wanna know, was
What?
there a stand-down order? So he was really
It's like,
starting to
no,
back
you
up
don't
Epstein was
understand.
too. He's one of the biggest advocates for
real
releasing
quick.
the entire
that level of
Epstein
light
Flight
was
that's
like,
still alive.
Why is Fuentes still
I don't
alive?
know why.
Yeah.
It was
Great
cool.
question.
It was really cool.
Because maybe
Did he
Israel
get the
didn't
call?
kill Charlie
Like
Kirk.
I carried with that I
If the
carried that
argument
with
is that
me
Israel's
all
like, oh,
night.
this
Because
After I
Nick
left,
Fuentes didn't
like
have- he didn't
it
have
was
the
with me all
intelligence
night.
university. Charlie Kirk
It was
their
the
biggest
coolest thing
ally.
ever.
He was the one, literally the one person capable of turning. If he turned against Israel, the last 24
Oops, sorry.
would evaporate overnight. So you have somebody in a position of power that was literally, I think, gearing up
This
to
isn't
be
where I
the next
parked my
presidential run.
car.
Could have been the next president.
But look, even that's long term because young
What's that?
people historically don't vote. So even if they don't support
I
Israel,
feel like a bug
right,
bit me.
you've still got the
Like the
majority
same
of voters
spot,
in the
yeah.
US are going to be the boomers,
Pretty sure a bug
people
bit me.
55 and older. So it'll still take time.
years.
Yeah, it'll still take time for
Gyroscopic
that
rotor.
voting bloc to actually have enough influence to change policy.
I just, I
I
think
should go scoop up all them
the
side
people who are
missions.
trying to justify Israel as the culprit are people who.
Or wait,
I mean,
is there
look, Ian
Vault Hunter
Carroll was
mode in
like,
this
I can't
one?
believe we figured out it was Israel right away, and it's like
I'm pretty
did you
sure
think
there
about it?
is,
that
isn't
day,
there?
he said it's within 24 hours everyone figured out who the likely suspect was. He said he was their greatest advocate and they killed him. And I'm just like, oh my god.
I mean, I've seen Ian's breakdowns on it, and he's been very specific about just sticking with what we do know and what we don't know. I think Ian's been done some of the best reporting on this, honestly.
And if he says that he says that he figured it out, and his answer is it was
He
Israel.
wasn't being sarcastic. Like Ian's, I know personally, he's very sarcastic.
Literally, the following morning, Ian Carroll said, yesterday was a turning point for Israel-U.S. relations. Less than 24 hours, and the internet already figured out who the most likely culprit was. He was their friend. He basically dedicated his life to them, and they murdered him in front of his family. Israel just shot themselves.
I mean,
11.5 million views. This is Israel derangement syndrome. Tell me Israel's bad, I say fine. Call it a genocide, I say okay. I don't care.
It'd
about
be
Israel.
kinda
I
cool
don't want the
to
US involved in these foreign wars, but literally before we
Do all
know
the side
anything,
missions
you put out
just
this
on
tweet saying
regular mode
Israel
before
did
you
it.
hit True
This is
Vault
the
Hunter
problem
mode?
I have with this stuff.
you knew that Ian was going to say Israel did it before anything else. Like,
There be any
as soon as he got
downsides to
shot,
that?
You said, "What do you think Ian Carroll's going to say?" I would have said, "Ian Carroll's going to say Israel did it." Like,
And
that's
then-
just,
and then-
that's his brand.
Then you start getting all of this narrative stuff where it's like, did you know that Charlie Kirk was he was questioning Israel? I saw a video where Charlie asked Ben Shapiro about. Charlie says to Ben, "What would
Bet
you
you
say
I'd
to
get
someone
it.
who
I would
describes
get
what's going on
impatient.
in Gaza as a genocide?"
Yeah, I'll wait.
And then it slowly zooms
I
in
bet
on
you
Ben's
I would get
face
impatient.
And doesn't edit, so Ben goes like, and it's like trying to imply that Charlie had turned on Israel, so they killed him.
Bob
It is
Saget.
insane. Now let me just start by saying, is it in the realm of
All right,
possibility
Tim,
that
what are you
Mossad was
yapping
like,
about?
Take out Charlie Kirk? Well, it's of course it's reality based.
Well, he did say likely, you know.
But I mean,
not
come
saying
on.
100%.
He then said
he's
they,
saying
they,
likely.
he said they murdered him in front of his family. That's what he said. Okay, and so I'm like, there's an infinite number of possible suspects and why and who would be upset with Charlie Kirk. You can argue the Qataris did it. Charlie Kirk was the last bastion for defending Israel among the younger generation. So Qatar headed out for Israel, and then they took out Charlie, and that's why Israel backed Qatar. I can connect the dots in a million and one ways. This doesn't serve our understanding of what happened to just jump beyond. Why was the gun there? Was it actually the gun that was used? What's with that weird photo? Why was the message looking all weird? All of those questions are legitimate. And we start from there and we move forward trying to figure out what's going on. The people that are coming out and screaming Israel are making it harder for us to actually break this down and figure out what really happened. This is what I can't stand about the hardcore conspiracy theory stuff. The feds historically would put out fake theories to distract people and throw them off the trail. A really great example, I think, is Pizzagate.
Pizzagate,
where they
yeah,
get this
that's what
email
I was
that
thinking
says-
about.
Is it, I forgot,
Where it
I'll
was something
paraphrase
real,
what
but
it
they
was
like
Is it more
they made
fun?
it so unbelievable
Is it more
through all
fun
these like
playing
lies
numbers
and
on
shit
Pizza
like that
Hut?
that people were just like,
And then
oh, that's
for no
ridiculous,
reason,
and then they stopped looking into it.
someone posted this thing claiming that it meant boys and girls. And I said, that's not correct. CP does mean child porn, but pizza and pasta, that connection doesn't exist anywhere. It was just made up at some point. I
Yeah,
argue,
and
guys,
it
the feds are
worked because
throwing you off
that
the
was
trail
when
what's
back when I
actually
was
going
in
on
like the
with these
conspiracy
emails that
theories.
got leaked, which are likely
Because it got to the point where it was
indicative
like,
of
what are we
doing
talking
drugs
about
and
anymore?
high-profile
Like this is
parties,
getting
playing
ridiculous.
dominoes on pizza and pasta, using code words for crack and meth or something like this. What happens? A guy shows up to a pizza place, shoots into the concrete floor, gets arrested, and they say you're all a bunch of crackpot weirdos for believing this. Despite the fact we eventually learn the Epstein stuff is true. Their goal is to throw you off the trail with nonsense. What we want to do is we want to look at everything that's been laid out. I think you made a really great point, Ryan, about how the FBI never confirmed 30-06. And then we can question why it is we thought that. Then we can see the ATF report. Someone else pointed out in the chat, that
It gives it a bit more credibility.
but someone pointed out, and this is important, someone pointed out in the chat that when that ATF document was leaked, the ballistics had not returned yet on whether or not it really was a 30-06 rifle. It was just the expert opinion of the ATF guys who saw it, in which
Did they
case...
release photos of the bullets though?
No, I don't think so. That was the ice attack.
Yeah, the ice attack I know they did, but I thought they released photos of
So
the actual described bullets.
there's a lot we don't know. There's a lot we're speculating on, and there's a lot that I probably got wrong already. But again, someone pointed out that ATF leak came out where they said they found a 30-06, but that was before the ballistics came back.
Yeah.
It's possible they were wrong.
Get him!
When cases like this happen, right? Because I've been at the scene of stuff like this where a case is, breaking. It's huge. It's hitting the news. New information.
Whoa! Oh, it's just a blue. I was like, is that a pearlescent? It looks like it. I think it's just blue. This is blue, right?
So yeah, it could have been like, hey, this is
Either way, much better than what I got. Let's go, baby.
In a group chat, answering
Yeah,
talking to each
I
other,
like it.
whatever. So, they say the fog of war. Well, the fog of investigation is very real too, and especially in the beginning.
Here's an interesting Patriot super chat. It's saying, I own a World War II Mauser 30-06. The rounds made for those rifles are loaded to lower pressure due to the weaker receiver material technology. This was something I was warned about because I bought an M1A.
It is
and,
almost
I'm not
schmo
a guy,
time.
so forgive me. But my understanding is that 308 is basically the same size but a higher pressure.
Yeah.
And so they told me only use 7.62 in the M1A because the higher pressure could damage the gun or break it, because M1A is an older technology or something to that effect. So that seems reasonable as well. I'll just put it like this: we are not being told the truth. Is a fair assessment.
That's my singing voice.
The government always lies, right? The question is,
Or they won't correct you when you make a mistake. That's also very important for
That's
people to
my Moby
understand. Like,
Dick.
again, putting on my agent hat, if crazy things come out and I'm the case agent, I'm like, good. Let them think whatever they want.
Right.
I'm
Playing
gonna run my
Moby Dick for
investigation, I have less
real.
hindrance, so they're also not going to correct things.
So let's advance a little bit, and then we can take a
Can
look
I have my
at the
car back? I
subsequent
forgot I
attacks we've
can't just
seen.
summon
There
that
was that attack
like
on
in the
ice
fourth one.
where the guy had it. What does it look like? 7.62 in a stripper clip. Let me pull this.
Yeah,
one.
we can pull up the picture. Yeah, that was nuts too, man.
That's just, but 7.62 is just the caliber bullet.
I think
Bullet.
just to
Right.
kind of wrap up the whole, Charlie thing, which rest in peace to Charlie.
Well, I don't want to stop talking about all
Okay,
this stuff. I
okay.
just want to.
I'll just, before we switch, all I was going to say is, like, I think people need to keep an open mind, look at all the evidence, don't jump to conclusions, and just go off of what's provable.
I want to keep the conversation on
Sure.
Charlie, but the bigger picture now moves into with this story. You see anti-ice penned, inked onto these bullets. It looks like there may be potentially some writing right here.
It's amazing how
see,
much
I'm not
better
sure
this
what they
game
have released in
plays
it, so
than
I'm
the
gonna
fourth.
go-
The
so
fourth
I'm
one
gonna
is
right here
messed
and
up.
here.
That game is
You
messed
just
up.
see the anti-ice. This is a stripper clip.
I
Now it's in the
legitimately
like
thought it
this.
was my computer.
The left's
And
assessment
playing this, I'm
of
like,
the Charlie Kirk
nope,
assassination
there is
by ICE,
nothing wrong with my
the
computer.
feds are staging
It
this
is all that game.
that
It really is. I heard there were
I mean,
complaints,
what
but
did,
damn,
Aaron Rupar say?
it
3
really
rice
is
egg fires in 3 weeks.
100% that game.
What the accusation, the left can, so while the right
I need a car.
is arguing palm guns, guy in the bushes, dude, trapdoor, whatever, Israel, I've heard some pretty wild conspiracy theories.
Who gave the trapdoor?
There's a picture of it.
Okay.
When they started repaving over the campus, when
Yep.
they started replacing everything out, there was all of a sudden people saw the trap door. But if you look at the photos of where Charlie was sitting, the trap door was like way off to the left. That theory didn't even
Does that come from new?
Right here, look.
Yeah, right there. Matt, what's this guy's name? Matt Baker shared this photo or this video up originally.
These are utility maintenance access doors commonly used in sidewalks and buildings to provide workers access to electrical and plumbing and infrastructure. They're not trap doors.
No, they're actually for the irrigation. It's actually
Oh, really?
common for the irrigation system is why that one was there, I believe.
And it was not even in the same spot where he was.
Who?
No, it's like, so Charlie was like way off to the right. It just didn't make sense that there were, I don't know. I went down there.
There was like
I'm
5
gonna
to 10
hijack
different
it.
theories.
I'm gonna
tried
do
my
it.
best to just disprove as many of these conspiracy theories as I could possibly
Yeah.
disprove, and I've just been going through them all one
So
by one.
let's talk about the leftist conspiracy theories, because here's Aaron Rupar, a man so famous for his misinformation. His to Rupar means to pull things out of context, to trick people into believing the wrong thing. Now, I'm not
To
kidding. Let me
Rupar.
pull this up. Rupar,
Maybe I just-
dictionary.
Maybe I just crushed the
Everybody
main
always
story
posts it at him.
and
To
then
lie with impunity.
hundo% this
here we go.
afterwards. I think is there
To
2?
Rupar is to lie with
In
impunity, a brazen statement
Borderlands
with
3,
folks that are
there's
misleading,
3
usually with the intention
stages
of a predetermined
of
outcome.
Vault Hunter.
To purposely mislead, to
It's a
intentionally
true
and
Vault
grossly
Hunter,
mischaracterize a
ultimate
statement
Vault
and/or
Hunter.
video. The left's conspiracy theory on this one. is that Trump and the feds.
I think
have
this was
been
on as
faking-
2. It
first
might
of
be
all, they
3.
thought-
I don't know.
They think or they claim the assassination on Trump was staged.
Oh, you see the Matthew Crooks video that came out yesterday?
No, which one?
A video came out,
Him shooting?
or pictures of him dry firing a handgun.
Yeah.
So then you have Gavin Newsom mocking Trump's
And then Ryan Reed
assassination.
got convicted as well.
You've got Gavin Newsom posting the photo of him laughing, holding up ketchup. Because have you not seen that one?
No.
Yep.
And another thing too, Ryan Ruth got convicted in his. He got found guilty
He
in the
didn't
trial.
really even defend himself.
Yeah, he represented himself. What a crazy.
Candace got the leaked deleted social media of Crooks. That's how we got that. And she had the video of this kid
Oh, Candace?
driving.
I
Yeah, I
thought it
believe
was
so.
So here you
It
go.
might have been. Maybe I thought it was Candace, but I could be
It's
wrong.
slow res, but Gavin Newsom, I believe, posted this Midas touch saying, "Okay, the internet is insane," and it's the Secret Service laughing while Gavin holds up a bottle of ketchup because
Gavin posted that?
I'm pretty sure that was posted by his press news office.
Oh yeah, they do troll. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the official source. Liberals think Trump faked the assassination attempt and that the feds, I guess, intentionally killed Corey Comparator. They have argued that there are a couple different theories on Trump assassination. They say that when he fell down, he smacked a blood pack in his hat so he could stand up and have the blood coming down. Despite the fact in the photos when Trump, in the photos from New York Times, you can see the blood in his hand. They argue that he had a hidden razor blade in his hat. And when he fell down, he slashed himself. They first, in the mainstream media, argued that it wasn't a bullet, the teleprompter shattered, and the glass struck his head. They tried every possible thing they could to claim this was not an assassination. And then look at the Charlie Kirk assassination. They first gloated and laughed and celebrated. There was one viral video where a woman said, "Charlie's not famous enough to be a martyr." They were wrong. All of a sudden, we saw these memorials happening, so what did they do? They pivoted and said, the shooter was a Groyper inspired by Nick Fuentes. Yup.
That was ridiculous.
And then you got Politics Girl, who I believe is a Midas Touch podcast, I could be wrong, saying that he came from a conservative background and the engravings on the bullets were just manufacturer markings. Then you get Jimmy Kimmel coming out. They are trying to do everything they can to cover it up. The left is now arguing that Charlie Kirk was killed by Trump. Not even, I kid you not. There is someone that I will leave unnamed who was prominent in Hollywood who posted a video to their Instagram of a woman saying, in 1934, blah, 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 Reichstag fire, Hitler did this so that he could gain power. And you know why they're posting that. The implication being that Trump had Charlie Kirk killed. They posted a meme. The left has been sharing a meme where it's a guy crying and pointing it at the camera, and it's titled, Donald Trump shooting Charlie Kirk when he realized he needs to cover up Epstein. This is what the liberals are saying. So on the right...
Yeah, it's funny. They're like, God, there are conspiracies on the right. So many conspiracy theories on the right. It's like they come up with just as many as the right wing does. It's,
so that he could...
I would say, if not more now. It didn't used to be the case before, but now it definitely is. Because Russiagate, that was a conspiracy theory. That entire thing was a conspiracy theory. It wasn't really framed the same way, so it didn't seem like a conspiracy theory to them. They looked at it a different way. It's like, oh, he's guilty, right? He's guilty. Or the 32 felonies, right? Or 34 felonies.
Right.
Those are misdemeanors.
Like they're still going.
They just put a statue of Trump at the Washington Monument of Trump and Epstein holding hands and like frolicking. It's a giant, like 12-foot statue. Oh, they took it down? Okay, I thought they were going to leave it up for 2 weeks, they said. They must have already taken it down. Okay.
Oh, okay, never mind. I think this is at Politics made that image. But, so I don't want to falsely accuse the governor of posting that himself. My point is just that liberals are sharing this because in their minds he faked the whole thing. But there is another image that I want to share with you about
one second.
conspiracy over the killing of Charlie Kirk. I posted this because it was on the front page of Reddit.
Hey,
And,
camera's still working. Word
This
up.
is on the front page of Reddit. Actually, let me open this and make it bigger. It says horse.
I'm gonna go schmo, and then I will be back on.